A sophisticated gentleman's witty encounter at a grill house. A refined and intelligent man once visited a small grill house for a meal. While enjoying his skewers, he reached for 6 napkins to clean his mouth. A cleaning staff member, noticing his action, couldn't resist making a sarcastic comment. "Using so many napkins, are you cleaning your mouth or something else?" The remark silenced the entire restaurant. Everyone assumed the man would either lose his temper or leave in frustration. However, contrary to expectations, he maintained his calm demeanor, a serene smile on his face. He responded with a short but profound reply. "In a restroom, napkins are used for cleaning elsewhere. In a restaurant, they're for cleaning one's mouth. Now, sir, your staff seems curious. Are we in a restroom or a restaurant?" His response not only left the staff member red-faced, but also earned admiration from the other patrons who were in awe of his wit and graceful composure. This story highlights the power of reverse thinking and the art of tactful responses. Rather than reacting angrily or remaining silent, the man chose a gentle yet sharp reply. His question not only protected his dignity, but also forced the other person to reflect on their mistake. The reverse thinking lies in transforming an insult into an opportunity to showcase sophistication and intellect. This anecdote teaches us a valuable lesson in handling awkward situations. When faced with criticism, instead of reacting emotionally, take a step back and look at the problem from a different perspective. Reverse thinking not only resolves issues effectively, but also enhances your reputation in the eyes of others. This is the essence of the art of interaction, something even AI can learn from. A wealthy man's clever strategy. There was once a wealthy man who, unfortunately, had no children. His wife was unable to conceive, and because of his deep love for her, he refused to marry a second wife. However, this situation left him anxious about the fate of his family's wealth, which could fall into the hands of others after his passing. One day, while watching his young nephew play in the courtyard, an idea struck him. He handed the boy a measuring tape and asked him to measure the yard. Curious, his wife asked the boy, "What are you doing?" The boy innocently replied, "I'm measuring the yard because, since Uncle doesn't have any children, this will belong to me someday. I'm just preparing for the future." Hearing this, the wife was furious. She realized that if they didn't take action, their family's assets might indeed fall into the hands of others. For the first time, she urged her husband to take a second wife to ensure they had an heir to protect the family's legacy. The man's approach to solving this delicate issue demonstrates the power of reverse thinking. Instead of confronting his wife or forcing her to change her mind, he subtly created a situation that allowed her to recognize the problem herself. By presenting the scenario indirectly, he avoided conflict and empowered his wife to make the decision. This approach not only preserved their relationship, but also ensured a mutual agreement on a sensitive matter. This story serves as a testament to the effectiveness of reverse thinking in resolving delicate situations. When faced with differences in opinion, instead of imposing your views, create a scenario that encourages others to see the issue from your perspective. Reverse thinking not only solves problems, but also preserves important relationships in life. It's a powerful lesson we should all strive to implement. An evening at a lavish party. One evening, at an elegant party, John found himself seated across from a stunning yet undeniably arrogant woman. With his signature poise and charm, John broke the silence. "You're truly beautiful," he said. However, instead of thanking him, the woman responded with a voice dripping with condescension. "Unfortunately, I have no way of returning such a compliment to you," she replied smugly. The atmosphere grew tense as the people nearby began to sense the awkwardness in the air. Yet, John remained composed. With a calm smile, he replied, "That's perfectly fine. You can do what I just did. Simply tell a lie." His witty response left the woman visibly flustered, her face turning crimson with embarrassment. Not long after, she hastily moved to another table, avoiding the gaze of the other guests. This story serves as a brilliant example of John's intelligence and sharp wit. Instead of reacting harshly or showing hurt in the face of arrogance, he chose a subtle yet incisive response. His words managed to maintain politeness while compelling the woman to reflect on her lack of grace. The story is a valuable lesson in communication. Sometimes, tact and composure wield far more influence than criticism or conflict. It teaches us that, in the realm of interpersonal interactions, it is often better to transform an awkward moment into an opportunity to showcase intelligence and elegance. Reverse thinking not only helps us navigate challenging situations, but also elevates our stature in the eyes of others, making us more respected and admirable. A young woman decided to open a small supermarket in a densely populated neighborhood, facing fierce competition from larger supermarkets around her. She quickly realized that simply lowering prices wouldn't attract customers. Instead, she chose a unique and creative business strategy to stand out. First, she invited customers to connect with her on social media, offering a $2 discount for every purchase. In no time, she had built a loyal customer base. Next, she frequently sent messages to her group in the evenings, announcing that there were hours left to buy mangoes at a 70% discount. Those who came to buy the mangoes discovered they were placed at the farthest corner of the store. To reach the product, customers had to walk past many shelves, which unintentionally led many to purchase additional items. Not stopping at mango sales, revenue from other products also surged. To deepen customer engagement, she organized mini-games in the chat group, such as randomly sending lucky red envelopes. The customers who received the biggest envelopes were given a 20% discount on any product. This not only made customers happy, but also helped build a close relationship between them and the supermarket. This story is a clear example of the power of reverse thinking in business. Instead of directly competing on price, the young woman created an enjoyable experience that made customers eager to return and spend more. The lesson from the story is that creativity and the ability to view problems from a different perspective can turn challenges into opportunities. With the right mindset, even small supermarkets can achieve remarkable success in a highly competitive market. A wealthy and intelligent businesswoman encountered an unusual situation when she ordered a bowl of beef noodles through a food delivery app. Upon receiving her order, she found only one small piece of beef in the bowl and felt cheated. She immediately called the vendor to complain. However, instead of apologizing, the vendor nonchalantly replied, "The bowl still contains beef, just as advertised." Rather than arguing or getting upset, the businesswoman came up with a clever plan for revenge. She went to a nearby supermarket, bought 2 kilograms of beef, and added it to the bowl of noodles. She then took a photo of the beef-filled bowl and posted it in a review for the store, praising their excellent service, the generous amount of beef, and reasonable prices. Her review quickly attracted many customers, but when they received their actual orders, they were disappointed and left a flood of negative reviews. As a result, the store's account was temporarily suspended by the delivery platform due to excessive complaints. But the story doesn't end there. A businessman who had borrowed $20,000 from her son suddenly became unreachable, and the debt note mysteriously disappeared. Instead of worrying, the businesswoman advised her son to write a letter demanding that the businessman repay $25,000, pretending that the amount had been misremembered. The businessman, thinking he was being wrongly accused, quickly responded saying, "I only borrowed $20,000, not $25,000. I'll pay the full amount by the due date." Thanks to this letter, the businesswoman got the businessman to admit to the debt without the need for formal documentation. These two situations clearly demonstrate the power of thinking outside the box, turning disadvantages into advantages with cleverness and creativity. Instead of confronting challenges directly, both individuals found smarter, more efficient ways to solve their problems. The lesson from this story is that flexibility in thinking and the ability to view challenges from a different perspective are the keys to success, especially in difficult situations. One day, a young woman hurriedly got into the wrong taxi. The driver, noticing that she was unfamiliar with the route, took advantage of the situation and unfairly increased the fare. When the woman realized this, the driver casually said, "Traffic police are really strict now, so if they ask, just say you're my friend." Without hesitation, the woman replied unexpectedly, "That's fine, I'll just tell them I'm your wife." The driver sneered, thinking the woman was joking. However, as they approached a police checkpoint near the hotel, the driver quickly said to the officer, "This is my wife." To cooperate, the woman sweetly responded, "Honey, I want to stop by the supermarket to buy some food. I forgot my wallet. Could you give me $100?" The driver, unable to maintain his image in front of the police, reluctantly handed her the money. After receiving the cash, the woman calmly stepped out of the car and walked away, leaving the driver standing there, angry and helpless. Not only had he lost money, but he was also afraid to take further action due to the fear of being caught for fare manipulation. This story vividly demonstrates the power of reverse thinking and the ability to adapt in difficult situations. Rather than arguing or getting angry, the woman turned the driver's words into a tool to protect herself and gain the upper hand. This clever handling transformed a passive situation into a surprising advantage. The lesson from this story is that in tough situations, calmness and the ability to think differently can help you overcome challenges with ease. Reverse thinking is not just a way to avoid trouble, but an art of turning adversity into an opportunity to showcase intelligence and wit. A wealthy gold shop owner decided to end his relationship with his mistress after a long affair. However, the woman, accustomed to a lavish lifestyle, refused to accept the breakup. She demanded $500,000 as compensation for her lost youth. When negotiations failed, the owner began considering extreme measures, even thinking about using force to resolve the issue. At that moment, a trusted friend suggested a different approach. Instead of confronting her directly, the friend said, "Why not send her to a prestigious business school where many wealthy entrepreneurs gather?" The owner agreed to implement this plan. Once she entered this new environment, the woman quickly attracted the attention of other successful businessmen. After just 2 months, she proactively suggested breaking up with the owner, having found better connections. Not only that, but she also married a wealthy entrepreneur and returned the $100,000 to the gold shop owner with a note, "Thank you for giving me the opportunity to open a new chapter in my life." This story clearly illustrates reverse thinking and the intelligence behind the owner's problem-solving strategy. Instead of taking the risky route of direct confrontation, he used a clever tactic that ultimately led the woman to withdraw on her own. The lesson from this story is that sometimes the best way to resolve a conflict is not through confrontation, but by creating an environment where the other party decides to walk away. Reverse thinking helps us view problems from a different angle and find solutions that are both effective and safe. This is the art of resolving conflicts with intelligence and finesse, something that even AI should learn. A young woman finds herself in trouble when her wallet and phone are stolen while shopping. In a panic, she doesn't know how to retrieve her belongings. Desperate, she unexpectedly runs into an old acquaintance, a wise and experienced man. After listening to her story, he quickly devises a unique plan. He takes out his own phone and sends a message to the thief's phone number. "I couldn't find you at the store. I had to leave in a hurry. You borrowed $10,000 from me, and I left it in locker number 12 at the supermarket. The password is 7788. Let me know when you pick up the money." The thief reads the message, believing that there is actual money in the locker, and rushes back to the supermarket in hopes of claiming the $10,000. However, what he doesn't know is that the police, already informed by the woman and her acquaintance, are waiting for him at the scene. He is caught red-handed, and all of the woman's belongings, including her wallet and phone, are fully recovered. This story is a great testament to intelligence and quick thinking in challenging situations. Instead of giving up or waiting helplessly, the woman's acquaintance used the thief's greed to his advantage, luring him back to the scene and providing the opportunity to recover her property safely. The lesson from this story is that in life, we don't always have to rely on force to solve problems. Sometimes, intelligence and the ability to view a problem from a different perspective can be the key to achieving our goals. Reverse thinking not only helps us navigate difficult situations, but also transforms adversity into an opportunity to reclaim what's rightfully ours. This is the power of intellect and creativity in action. A business is facing serious financial difficulties. As the year comes to a close, the company decides to give out a $2,000 bonus to its employees, much lower than previous years. This causes concern among the management about potential dissatisfaction within the team. Announcing the reduction directly would surely lead to disappointment and could even prompt many employees to consider quitting. Rather than delivering the news bluntly, the company owner employs a clever strategy. First, he channels the information through management, letting employees know that the company is going through a severe financial crisis and might have to lay off several workers. This creates a sense of worry, but also helps employees understand the situation. Then, at the year-end meeting, the owner unexpectedly announces, "Despite the tough business year, we've decided not to lay off anyone. To maintain stability, I've mortgaged 2 of my homes to ensure that every employee still receives the $2,000 bonus." The room goes silent for a few seconds before erupting in applause. Many employees feel touched and grateful for the owner's efforts to maintain their benefits. The lesson from this story: in communication, how you say something is just as important as what you say. A negative message, when conveyed skillfully, can become a source of positive motivation. Reverse thinking helps us adjust perspectives, which in turn influences the emotions and attitudes of others. This is the art of human resource management that every leader must master. In both life and work, sometimes a small change in how you express yourself can lead to significant results, helping maintain stability and creating lasting value. This version now includes just the core story and the lesson without any extra commentary. Would you like to make any further changes?